Hey friends, it's Cash. So I apologize for not being active on YouTube for the past couple of months. The reason being is because I broke my camera phone. So I didn't have access to a front camera for a really good amount of time up until I bought this laptop. The camera quality isn't that great, but it's a little bit more doable than not having anything right. So we're just gonna have to deal with this. But I thought that this is a really convenient time for me to have a comeback because I'm very opinionated about the topic of conversation being pride. I want to put a disclaimer out there that I'm not engaging in this dialogue with an objective perspective, right? Everything that I'm saying is from my point of view and my analysis of politics and the queer movement in general. I'm actively critiquing the focus of the movement and also the language. The language that we use to negotiate intersectionality, right? I want to produce conversations that are productive and efficient, and Pride does not give us the vehicle to do so. Pride is a celebration for privileged people to indulge themselves in, people who do not have the socioeconomic status to express their queerness in a healthy way in the public arena get erased because of this. If we want to talk about the queer movement, then it is extremely important for us to recognize that transgender women of color built the foundation for the movement. They gave us the infrastructure for us to have these conversations in the public arena. The movement was designed to combat the law enforcement and its brutal exercises against people of color, queer people, and queer people of color, right? Gay white men hijacked the movement to focus on single issues that affected them. And because gay white men derailed the motives of the movement, they left everyone who did not fall into the dominant narrative back in the 1970s. Assimilation and accessibility to public space facilitated this division. The movement did not cultivate because we wanted to celebrate our differences. The movement cultivated because we needed to revolt against the law enforcement. We haven't had this conversation to its full capacity if queer people of color are actively being put in spaces where they are subjugated by the state and transmitters like police officers. We could have focused on more important issues like housing and employment discrimination, LGBTQ plus youth homelessness, which constitutes 40% of the homeless population. We could have addressed the proliferation of violence against black and brown trans humanities. Statistically speaking, every 29 hours, another trans person is slain. Marriage equality is not going to save the lives of the people who cannot naturalize because of institutions like ICE, who are deporting and putting black and brown trans humanities in detention centers every day. And this is all state sanctioned. Trans people now have the momentum to build our platform with the increasing visibility of transes through the mainstream media and pop culture, but we are facing backlash because of it. There are legislatures trying to propose anti-transgender bathroom bills that will deny us access to facilities that correspond with our gender identity. This biological rhetoric is creating a lot of barriers for us to integrate into society, and the lack of solidarity that we are receiving from the queer community is unacceptable. There was even this campaign that was circulating online a couple of months ago, created by this gay white man who petitioned to exclude trans people from the movement because he believes that gender and sexual issues are inherently different from each other. He was able to produce more than 1,000 signatures. Privileged people are facilitating this, and it is disgusting how other people are propagating this pervasive male discourse. Pride is a way to pinkwash the movement. It erases the experience of queer people of color and trans people of color. This celebration is not for us. Marriage equality is a victory for gay white people. Homophobia and transphobia are still very much prevalent in this nation, and as long as cis and heterosexism persists, we cannot progress. The Orlando shooting last weekend perfectly demonstrates that we have a lot of work to do before we can declare liberation. It was a hate crime that was racially charged, and we lost 50 valuable, beautiful lives that night. I'm sending all my solidarity and support to everyone who has been affected by this tragic event. We can't pray for change. We need to make change by deconstructing people's privilege and dismantle systems that give these people the entitlement to public space and education. To my queer, Muslim, and Latinx family, you are loved and your lives matter. We need to support each other before we can say we won. Love didn't win because our community is so divided and we don't know how to love each other. This is why I do not subscribe myself to this homonormative narrative, because the capitalist state that we live in is still targeting us and will continue to target us unless we organize in solidarity to institute new policies and cultural change. I cannot celebrate because we are not done. And that is why I do not celebrate Pride. This is the Transgender Diary signing out.